Okay, I only do one video a day, but something's telling me, hey, you know what, do another video, right? Tell me why I feel like you're being watched by your crusty ex, right? I don't know why I feel like you're being watched by your crusty ex that walked away thinking they were gonna find better, but in the reality, they haven't, right? I don't know why I'm specifically feeling that, but when it comes down to these readings, guys, you guys know that I do these with the most detail, so you know what this reading is for you, right? First of all, give me energy. Give me energy. What is my collective going through, and what did my collective go through with this person? What did my collective go through with this person? Okay, you're feeling a sense of relief since this thing ended. You're feeling a sense of relief since this connection ended. They're coming out as the Queen of Swords reverse. You're coming out as the King. They literally argued. They literally complained about everything. They were constantly complaining about their life, about where they're at, how things aren't working out for them. And I feel like that was definitely one thing that did bother you. I feel like that's definitely one thing that kind of turned you off from the relationship, right? I don't know, I'm specifically feeling that you're feeling a lot more better. You're not feeling as bad, or you're not feeling as shut down as you used to, right? That's coming out here very strongly. They're coming out as the Queen of Swords reverse. So they act like a, right? Doesn't matter if they're a guy. That's exactly how they act like. That's exactly how they act like. You are more composed. You are more mentally there. You are more intellectual. I do feel like they were the type of person that made you carry this relationship, right? What does that specifically mean? It means that when this situation ended, you honestly thought you ended up losing something very important, but in reality the wands dropped, and you realize not having somebody in my ear constantly being negative is making me feel really good, right? That's what's coming out here at the moment. I feel like you've had problems with your father. Okay, there's a group of people right here that used to have problems with their father, and there's another group of people right here that used to be a daddy's muñeca, right? Or a daddy's girl, meaning that your dad will always give you everything. But there's another group that will have constant problems with their father, or they constantly have problems with their father, right? I feel like they would constantly complain about their father. That's what's coming out right here. I don't know why I feel like they would also constantly talk bad about other women. That is coming out here very strongly. We have Libra, we have Pisces, we have Leo, we have Taurus, we have Virgo, and then we also have Aries, right? I feel like that's coming out very strongly at the moment in time. It's like they would always have something to say, right? But I'm telling you, I feel like they're watching you. I feel like they're examining your every move. So if you've had this fake Instagram account looking at your story for the past few weeks and you do not know who that is, that's most likely your ex. As simple as that. That's like the best thing I can tell you. That is most likely your freaking ex, right? That's coming out here very clearly. Or you guys know those fake Instagram profiles? That's most likely your ex, right? That's coming out here very intriguing. Lately, I feel like they have been in your mind more than usual. But instead of feeling sad, instead of feeling nostalgic, you're feeling very frustrated with them. Like you're feeling very like, ugh, te quiero agarrar de la garganta y, you know, I want to grab you by the throat and, you know, if you know what I mean, like, you know what I'm talking about, right? That's coming out very strongly right here. The thing about it is that they're truly not having a lot of movement in their reality, right? I feel like after your breakup or after you guys ended up breaking up, they told you, I'm gonna do better than you. I'm gonna work my ass off and do better than you. That's not happening. They cannot do better than you. You're coming out as a King of Swords. You're coming very intellectually good, very intellectually smart. Tú sabes quién eres. You know your worth. They clearly do not, right? We have the Chariot in reverse. Going back to that, Eight of Wands, Chariot reverse. There's no movement whatsoever happening in their life. I also want to point out that I don't really see movement happening from them towards you, but that does not mean they're not watching, right? Going back to their future or going back to their goals. They have goals, but they're not really arrancándole. They're not really going towards those goals. I specifically want you to acknowledge that. Okay, and with the Eight of Wands, like I'm telling you, I feel like your life ended up slowing down I feel like your life ended up slowing down when you were dating them, right? We have the Three of Pentacles. Ugh. They could be thinking about trying to rebuild something with you. The problem is that you don't want to rebuild anything with them anymore. You don't want that. It makes you feel weird. It makes you feel weirded out. Like now that you think about them, you're all like, damn, I did like that. Damn, that was in my roster once, right? So now you kind of get the ick from them, right? And then we have the Fool, somebody that's very, very naive, that goes through life just doing whatever they feel like it, right? And to me right here, it tells you they could take a leap of faith towards you. But is it something that you truly want? No, because lately you have been feeling not as conflicted with them, right? Lately you have been having thoughts, and these thoughts make you feel weird, right? And I don't know why, I feel like in your heart you feel like they could be watching you, or they could be wishing something upon you, right? But lately you have been feeling no conflict. You have been doing your own thing. I specifically don't see you wanting something with them. That is coming out here very, very clearly. We have the Strength reverse, right? And then we also have the Sun. The Strength reverse being shown right here does tell us something very, very important. You don't want to relearn lessons. You know what they put you through. You know what you went. You are glowing. You are growing. You are becoming 10 times better than they would ever be. And with the Strength specifically being shown right here in reverse, it's really not something you need to repeat. You don't need to learn lessons because you have already learned lessons from this situation. And with the Strength being shown right here in reverse, don't put yourself in a spot where you're going to have to relearn a lesson. Remember, you're coming out as a King of Swords. You're not coming out as a Queen of Swords reverse. With the Ace of Pentacles, we have financial abundance and new beginnings of stability showing up for you. Don't mess that up just because some crusty thing wants to get back with you. Take care.